Hi everyone, I am back with another video. This one is to show you how to make a mini flip style album. It's a really small one. This measures 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. So yeah, it's really simple. It's not massively going to be decorated or anything like that. You can do as much as you want to like your cover piece, but the insides are supposed to be more simple and clean lined, and it's small enough you can, you know, tuck this in your purse or a small bag and, you know, just kind of use it as like a brag book maybe. That's what mine is intended for. Not necessarily in my purse, but to leave out, you know, at my house and stuff. Usually when people come over that haven't been here in a little while, they'll see a new album laying out and pick it up and look through it and see what I've done and whatnot. So it's kind of cool to have different ones kind of rotate in and out. So I came up with this after I made my flip style album that is a little bit larger. And let me grab one. I only have one because I gave one away. Let me grab it to show you the bigger one. I do have a video on that one, but this one I wanted to make smaller. So, oops. So this is the bigger one that I made, and this is the size of the Smashbooks that I do. So I made this one for my little dog, Allie. So that's why it's all done in puppy papers. And on the inside, for this one I did use the Smashbook binding, but this one I did not. So the rings are on the outside. So this one just kind of opens sideways, and then it opens up, and it goes like that throughout the book. And like I said, I do have a video showing this one. I'm over here so it's not my way. And so I wanted to kind of downsize it to make it more portable. And so this is what I came up with, and it's using all the pages open the same, so they all open to the right. It's very consistent throughout the whole book, which I love. And this one I did distress my edges because I'm gonna put pictures of my boys in here, and I just thought that it looked really cool to do that, especially with like the denim look of this paper anyway. So yeah, this is from a Paper Studio pack, and I can't remember the name of it, and I don't have it on hand. It's in the closet. And this is from a cardstock sticker pack that matches, and so is this eagle. And then I just took some gold letter stickers and just put my boys on there. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to fill this up with my sons. And just to show you an alternate, because I know not everybody has a bind-it-all or a cinch for a way to bind your book with the O-wires. So I did do one. I just whipped up one, a little girl one. This can be a lot fuller. These are 3/4 inch rings. You could probably use a 1/2 inch ring on this one. But it's the same thing, and I just used some scrap papers for this one out of a stack. This is a Paper Studio stack, and it was called Lola and Lucha, I think. So it's all these blacks, pinks, and greens, and whites. So it's the same way. There's 5 pages in here. There's also 5 pages in my other one. This paper is a lot thinner, too. It's not cardstock paper, whereas the other one is. So you can also bind it with rings. Now I just put 2 on here just to kind of demo. You could put 3 if you really wanted to, and like I said, you don't have to use really big ones unless you want a really thick book, which would be kind of cute. A little harder to travel around with, but you can make a really thick one and put lots of stuff in it if you really wanted to. So I'm going to show you how to make this because I want to do a little Halloween one. To put some pictures of my kids. I only have 2 of them that really participate in Halloween now, but I do have my little brother, and this is going to be Not his first Halloween, but his first Halloween where he's going to be able to see things. So I wanted to show you how to do this. I'm only going to do 4 pages because I do want to put a little bit of dimensionals inside of it. So to get started, I'm going to go over some measurements and some things that you're going to need. You're going to need binder rings, or even ribbon. You could tie it with ribbon if you wanted to punch holes and just tie it with ribbon or whatnot. I'm going to use my Bind-A-Doll for this. So I have my 3/4 inch O-wires, and I need 11 little peg things, whatever you want to call these. I need 11 of the, whatever you say for this thing. Anyway, yeah, you need 11 of them. You need 2 pieces of chipboard or thick cardboard for your covers. And these are going to measure 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. I just have chipboard pieces I cut. You're going to need paper, obviously, for your covers and for the inside and for your pages. Your cover pieces, you're going to cut those to 5 3/4 by 6 3/4 in order to wrap it. If you're not going to wrap it around, then you just cut it to the same length, or, you know, glue this to your paper and then cut your paper out and then file your edges if you want to do it that way. So you would need 4 sheets of cover paper if you're going to do it that way. I'm going to wrap mine. So then my inside liner piece that's going to go on the inside, if you're wrapping, is going to be 4.5 by 5.5, and you'll need 2 pieces of that. And I already pre-cut all that just to save a little bit of time. I'm not that great at editing yet. I really don't have to edit a lot of my videos, so I don't worry about it too much. But just in case, you know, you guys are worried about me not speeding anything up or doing a lot of cutting and stuff on here, I'm going to try to go through as quickly as I can, but this could be a long video, so I just want to warn you that it could be very time consuming. I'm not sure. I will pause and do some of my cutting and come back just to make it easier, but I just wanted to put that out there. It could be a long video. So for the pages are going to work like this. You're going to have your page, and each one of them is going to flip open. So you're going to have 4 spaces that are all the same size. And then we have this little strip here that we're going to leave for our binding. So you'll need cardstock, and however many pieces you want to do. Each piece of cardstock gives you 2 pages. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and cut these because I'm only doing 4 pages. So I'm going to cut these 2 pages together and just get those done. And I'm going to move some of this stuff out of the way. I have a lot of Halloween stuff sitting on my desk right now. So I'm just going to move that. So here's my cutter. And I'm just going to move that so it doesn't get spilled. Okay, so I'm going to cut both of these at the same time. And we're going to cut, we want to leave this 8.5 inch side. So on the 11 inch side, you want to cut that down to 5.5 inches. So your sheets of cardstock are going to be 8.5 by 5.5. Just like that. So almost like you're making a card base for an A2 size card. That is all the cutting we're going to do. Next, we're going to get a scoreboard or some way to score. I know some of the Fiskars cutters have the score tools on them, so you can use that also. And we're going to take all of these, and on the 8.5 inch side on the top, we are going to score at 4.5. I'm trying to read. Does that make sense? I guess it does. Okay, so we're gonna score at 4.5. And that's going to give us where we're gonna fold to create our pages. So each page that you're doing on the 8.5 inch side, you're gonna score at 4.5, because if we scored right down the middle, then our page would overlap our binding. So we have to go in 4.5 inches to prevent that. Okay, so this is my last one. 4.5. Okay, that's all the scoring we're gonna do. So we're gonna put that away and the cutter away. Now, all these pages I scored right here, so I'm going to flip them over. And I'm going to fold all of them inward. And there I've basically created my first page. Two, three, and 4. So there is all 4 of my pages. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and punch my holes for my ring, my O-wire. So I'm going to find it all out. Oops. And I have a template, I believe, for this size. Let me check and see. Okay. Mini size flip photo album. Here we go. So this is my template that I'm going to use, so I know where to punch my holes. And I'm going to do all 4 sheets at one time, if it will let me. Okay, so I'm going to line these up. And punch. So then, now that this is lined up, I can take my template off and move it over. Everything sticks to black. Jeez. So then I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to line it up with this one. Let's see how many I need. 3 more holes on that side. So I'm going to see 1, 2, 3. I'm going to line this last hole up here with this hole here, so I know that I'm on track. And I'm going to punch. And then I have all my holes on that side, and then I need 2 holes over here, so I'm going to flip it over. And again, I'm going to line up this hole here with this one here. Make sure it's all lined up. And punch. And there we have all of our holes. And like I said, everything sticks to black cardstock, I tell ya. So I'm going to put the bind it all away. And we'll come back to that at the end. So now we have all of the pages punched, just like that. And papers to go inside here. I'm gonna use my new Trick or Treat stack from the Paper Studio. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull out one of each sheet in there, and there's 15 designs and I actually need 16, so one is going to be either repeated or I have some odd papers over here. I have some of these left over from last year. Some of them are the Studio G stuff that Walmart had, and a couple of these are out of a seasonal pack, so I may just grab one of those since they're kind of some scrap pieces. But we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm going to show you how to do the cover. Like I said, the cover measures 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. And if you're wrapping the cover, your cover pieces need to be 5 3/4 by 6 3/4. So 1 inch in both directions larger than your chipboard. And that gives you a nice clean wrap. So the way I do this is I'm going to go along all 4 edges with my ATG gun. You can use score tape, you can use the red line tape, you can use any kind of good adhesive you have. I'm also going to be putting, I'm going to be using a glue stick on this too, so I'm going to do like a crisscross in the center, and I'm going to take my glue stick. I just get these at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to go over the entire thing with the glue stick, and this just helps me know that my paper will stick really good in the middle. And here's my front cover piece. So I'm going to take my chipboard and I'm going to try to line this up evenly as best as I can. And just push down on it, and then I'm going to flip it over. And I don't have a brayer, so I just take my bone folder and go over the entire thing. Make sure that it's really flat after using the glue stick. So that takes a few minutes to dry. And we'll go this way. So I think that's pretty good. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to fold it down onto itself. And when I wrap my covers, I like to use a thinner paper because it wraps better. The thicker the paper, the more it cracks and tears along the edges. So I like using the thinner stuff if I can. And this is a piece from the Studio G Halloween stuff they had at Walmart last year, and it's pretty thin. Not copy paper thin, but it's pretty thin. So now, grab some scissors. We're going to cut at an angle a little triangular piece off of this, but I don't want you to cut all the way to the cardboard. You need to leave about 1/8 of an inch. So when you wrap the corner gets wrapped and it doesn't show. So what I kind of use as a guide, I don't know if you can see, when you fold it this way and you fold it this way and you crease this, there's kind of a cut line. There's little score marks here from folding it that you can use not to kind of go past. So there's that. And then this is where you're going to want to use your score tape or your red liner tape. to ensure that these are not gonna pop open. So I'm gonna use my score tape. And I'm just gonna place it along the entire edge of the chipboard. All the way around. And I know some of you already know how to do this and whatnot, but I figured I would show how to do this for some of the beginners that have started following me recently. So I hope that a lot of my videos that you guys are watching are helping you. Yeah, I try to explain everything as best as I can in the videos. So if there's ever any questions that you guys have about anything, just let me know and I will try to explain it to you a little better. So now I'm just going to pull off the backing, and I'm using my X-Acto knife because I can't get my nails under there. And sticking. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to take this and I'm going to set it on my space and I'm going to fold it back down onto itself. And it gives it that nice little, it's tighter. And then I take my bone folder and I just kind of rub it down. And I didn't get that completely centered. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. That's why I give myself that whole inch bigger to wrap around. That way, if it's not completely centered, I know it's still going to be covered. And then this inside piece is going to be covered with another sheet anyway. So let me do that, and I forgot to tuck those ends in, so I'm going to show you what I mean. Usually I take my bone folder and I kind of tuck this edge in right here. Gives it a nice cleaner fold, and I didn't do that with the other side. That's okay. This is only my book, so it's fine. I'm not giving it away. And you can't really tell that I kind of missed a step. So there is my front cover, and I'm going to do the back cover, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have my front and back covers done, and they look like this. So now I'm going to go ahead and just attach the inside pieces, which are going to be my little inside liners. And this is also from that Studio G paper, which is a bunch of little eyeballs. This piece is going to be 4.5 by 5.5, and it's going to go just centered right on there. So we're going to go ahead and attach these two pieces. And again, I'm just going to run a little crisscross down the center. Make sure that I get them on the right one. This is my front cover. Then we're just going to center this. And press it down. Go over it with the bone folder. Or if you have a brayer, helps it stick better. So there is the front cover. And now we will stick the back cover. Make sure you have it in the right direction. center this one. Just like that. So now our front and back covers are done, and we can set those aside for now. So we'll set those over there. And we're done with the glue stick. So now we're going to cut the pages. And like I said, I'm just going to tear one each of these sheets out. And this is more cardstock thickness. And I'm going to just kind of put them upside down over here. I usually tend to go in order of the stack that I'm pulling from when I'm doing a little book like this that's very uniformed. I just like the way that they kind of mix up the paper pad. Now this one I can probably use as 2 different sheets. So I may end up doing that and not having to cut another piece. So just remember, for each page that you have, you need 4 pieces of paper that you're going to cover it with. So each page is 4 different prints. If you want different prints, now you can do these 2 the same and you can do these 2 the same, however you want. I'm going to go ahead and do them all differently just because I have a variety of paper to be able to do that with. And then you can use the scraps left over to make little tags if you want to put in there. You can make little pockets to put in it, whatever you want to do. Like I said, I'm just going to do a really simple one. I'll end up doing a fancier Halloween book later, but I wanted to at least give you a new tutorial. I haven't done one in a while, and back when I asked what kinds of videos that everyone wanted to see, I was asked to do some little mini albums to use as, you know, brag book type things to carry around in your purse. And this is what I had come up with, but so many things have gone on between now and then that I never got around to showing everyone the book. And I just actually ran into it last night, so I thought, what better time than Halloween? So I have taken one of each sheet from my 8.5 by 11 inch stack of paper, and this is where you're going to get your cutter out again and cut the papers. Now, it depends on how much of a border you want. Personally, I only like about 1/8 of an inch, unless I'm doing something fancy where I really want to see the background color. So my papers are cut at 3 7/8 this way and 5 3/8 this way, and I believe that gives me 1/8 of an inch. So we're going to cut our first one, and I'm going to do my 5 3/8 first. No reason why I'm doing 5 3/8 first, and just that's what I chose to do. So I have this big piece I'm going to set aside, and then I'm going to do my length, and this is 3 7/8. So right there. And then I have this piece left over, and here's my page. So this should fit on there nicely, and yes, it does. So I have just a little bit of that black border. So I am going to cut all of my papers, and then I will be back to show you some more. Okay, so I cut all of my papers, And like I said, they measure 3 7/8 by 5 3/8. Unless you want a bigger border showing on your page, you can adjust that size to however you like. And I substituted a couple of sheets in my little stack. I decided not to use the one with the spider and the trick or treat because here's the little spider and he's gonna get completely covered up. So I'm not gonna use that one. I decided to just throw in this one from the Studio G pack. And this one with some different colored spider web stuff. So these are all, there should be 16 sheets here. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. So, and you can do this in any manner that you want. Like I said, I'm just going to go with the way they were in the paper pad, minus the ones that I substituted. So, just going to take my first sheet and go ahead and adhere this down, just using my ATG tape. So it's going to go right here on my front flap. I'm going to try to line this up without getting my head in the way. So just like that, go over it with my bone folder to make sure that it's stuck down pretty good. So there's my first little page, and then on the inside, just going to attach the next two. And this is a pretty quick little mini. Like, you could get this done in a couple of hours if you just want a really simple one that's not going to have tons of embellishments in it or anything like that. So that's why I kind of wanted to create a simple one, so I could just go back and add my photos. Later on, and then that's when I will probably insert some stickers or things like that. Since there's not a whole lot of room and it's just a little mini, you don't want to cut your pictures too small. So I think what I'll do is probably put some mats in here, just solid cardstock colored mats, and do like a 3x4 type size photo, and then you know, add some little stickers and maybe some ribbon, not tiny bows, just maybe some flat ribbon or, you know, things like that. So I won't be completing this today, but at least having this part, you guys will know how to put it together and make one, and then you can decorate to your liking. It doesn't have to be a Halloween one. I'm just doing a Halloween one with Halloween coming. And these would be great actually to do like different holidays. So you just have different themed holidays for gatherings at your house or little parties you go to, or whatnot, things like that. So there is the first completed page. So I'm going to do the rest of them, and I will be back to show you how to bind it all together. Okay, so I have completed putting all of the papers on my pages. So they all are covered now with my paper. This is really cute Halloween paper. So I'm going to insert onto my O-wires, and I just put my pages on. And like I said, however many pages you're using, and if you're not using a bind it all, you can punch your holes and use binder rings or ribbon or whatever you have to attach. So then I'm going to put my cover piece, my front cover piece on, and I went ahead and punched that. And then my back cover is supposed to look like this with the polka dots. So when you're using the bind it all, you're gonna take your back cover and you're going to flip it over, so that way when we close this ring up, the seam is going to be on the inside of the back, so when you flip this back over, it's going to be correct. I hope you guys got that. So I'm using 3/4 inch wires because I only have 4 pages and I wanted to put a little bit of dimension in here when I'm decorating. So you're going to take your rings, your wires, and you're going to have your bind it all set to 3/4 of an inch down there, and you can use the guides that come with it to help you do that. Then you're going to take your wires and you're going to close up 6 wires at a time. So you're going to stick them in here. Let me turn it sideways so you guys can see. So I've got 6 wires lined up, and I'm going to push those wires closed, and then I'm going to do the other set of wires. Then you should have 5 sitting there, and we're going to close those ones up just like that. So you're done with the bind it all, and now our wires are closed up here, and like I said, when we flip this piece is our back cover, the inside of our back cover. When we flip it to the back, our book is now, here's my front cover, and here's my back cover, and here's the inside. And this is where that little seam is for the wires on the inside. So that is the book, and you can go about decorating it any way you want. So I'm going to do all of that on my own time. And I will come back probably after Halloween, obviously, because that's when I'm going to get my pictures taken. So what I will do is I will come back and show you guys the finished album once I'm done with it. And I have to put my stamp on the back and all that stuff and decorate the front. So that's the basics of how to put together these little books. And like I said, you can do them in any kind of theme that you want. You can use the wire or the binder rings for it if you don't have the bind it all. And it's just a fun little mini that you can use it, toss in a bag, you know, leave around with different themes or whatever for people to look through and whatnot. So I hope you guys enjoy making these, and I would love to see some of the ones that you've done. So feel free to link your videos as, you know, a video response, or let me know where you've posted it so I can go look at them. It's fun to see what others create out of what you come up with. So until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!